Hey folks, how's it going? This is Mike, and I'm doing a video response to James Higgins and his midweek chat. So, hi James, hope you're doing well, and hello to everyone else. I haven't been, I haven't been doing much on YouTube for a couple of weeks. Just was very involved in work, and it was kind of exhausting, both physically and emotionally, and I just didn't feel like putting my face on camera for a while. So, anyway, I finally got into a 4-day weekend, and I'll be able to get some rest. I hope. I hope. We'll see. Okay, so the first topic for this week is, will we continue collecting movies? And this question's come up before, and I think it's kind of interesting that it still keeps coming up among the DVD collecting community. Um, I have to give that answer. Well, the answer to that question is a qualified yes. Okay, I think I will always continue to buy DVDs, but if I go through with my plans to retire from my job at the beginning of 2014, which is what I'm in the process of doing that now, and I still might change my mind, but if I do that, and even if I retire at some point in the future, I will have to modify my collecting quite a bit because I'll have less of an income, and I just won't be able to have everything that I think that I want and need. So yeah, it's going to be a big change, and in a way, it scares the hell out of me. Actually, retiring scares the hell out of me for a lot of reasons. Number one being that I have no idea who I am if I'm not working, and I just don't know what will happen to me after I retire. But I feel that I have to because it's becoming, after 40 years of doing this job, this blue-collar job, it's becoming difficult for me to do it. So it's something that I have to face. And yeah, I may not be able to collect movies or music or books in the same way that I do now. And I don't know, that might actually be a good thing because I think about this quite a bit. And I have a tendency to overanalyze myself, everything that I do and everything that I think, and probably do way too much of that. But I don't know if this habit that I have, and James used the word addiction, and I agree with you, it is an addiction. People who just feel a need to collect things, it has all the earmarks of an addiction. It doesn't necessarily have to be a harmful addiction, something that destroys your life. And I'm sure that's not what's happening to me, and it's not happening to you or most of the people who do this. But it is something that takes a lot of money. And I think in my case, and I won't speak for anyone else but me, I think that I get a lot of my sense of self-identity from the stuff that I have around me, the stuff that I have on shelves, right? The records, the books. I have a certain personality if I have a certain collection of books, right? That says something about me, and maybe it does. I don't know. I just have to wonder sometimes if continuing to bring more and more stuff into this house is healthy or unhealthy. Maybe there is an aspect of it that is a bad habit and needs to be changed. I actually wish that I had different kinds of addictions in my life. I wish that I could be addicted to going to the gym 3 days a week, doing something positive for my physical self. I wish I could be addicted to getting up early every morning and going out for a long walk in the morning air, walk 6 blocks and get myself breathing hard and all that. I wish I could be addicted to volunteering at a hospital or something, anything different than just constantly going into a store and thinking that I have to keep buying things. Let me tell you how it is for me. There goes the clock. When I go into Barnes and Noble, and I end up, first of all, it's about the only kind of place that I want to shop in. I have no desire to shop for clothes. I'd rather get beaten up than have to go shop for furniture or appliances or anything else other than books, music, and DVDs, okay? When I go into Barnes and Noble, I just feel like it's my living room, and I want to stay there for hours and hours and hours. And it's very seldom that I will go into Barnes and Noble and not come out with something. A couple of books, a couple of magazines, 2 or 3 DVDs, and it's very seldom that I do that. When I buy something, I actually feel a rush as if I were getting high. That's how good it feels. And it just means something to me to walk out of a store and have something that even if it's not, I mean, you guys are talking about endgame videos and holy grails and all that, and I really don't have anything like that. I mean, I don't have a big list on Amazon or anywhere else where I just like, oh, this is what I want to get. I have things in my head, and I go through catalogs a lot, like catalogs from Critics' Choice Video, Collector's Choice Music, things like that. Little catalogs that come from Movies Unlimited, and I look through that and think, wow, I'd love to have this and this and this. But there's nothing super special that I'm out there just dying to get right now. But I always feel a sense of elation when I bring DVDs into the house. I always have, and it's going to be very hard to give that up. But I will also say that sometimes when I buy something, and when I get it home and I realize that I don't always have this strong desire to unwrap it and put it in the DVD player and watch it. I just put it on the shelf, or I put it on the table and it stays there for 8 days. And I find myself having a feeling of being let down. It's like I have the high and then a little bit of a crash. So it's definitely with me an addictive thing, and I sometimes think that it's a real problem, and that it's something that cannot be sustained financially long term, and I'm going to have to find another way to think about enjoying films. But I guess I'm rambling on here, I'm blathering like crazy, and it's probably not that interesting, but I guess, yeah, I think I will always want to collect these things, but I know it's going to have to be curtailed at some point, okay? On to the question about the Endgame movie. Well, I don't think there was one, but I did think about that a little bit, and if you mean that in the sense of if you finally find things that you've been looking for, or a set that you wanted to complete, and you finally feel, wow, I'm done, I can stop this and I can move on to something else. With me, that would be the collection of Star Trek movies and TV shows. I finally have all the TV series. The last one I bought was the 7th season of Deep Space Nine, and so I'm done. I have all the films, well, except for Star Trek Into Darkness, which I really don't know if I'll buy that. I probably won't. I'm saying that now, and I'll probably go out and buy it. But yeah, so I finally have all these things on DVD. Now they're all coming out on Blu-ray, and everybody and their brother are rushing to replace what they have on DVD with Blu-ray. And I'm not going to do it. I just absolutely refuse to do it. I've spent way too much money. I've waited too many years to complete the collections on DVD, and I'm done. I'm done with Star Trek. I'm very happy to have what I have, and I'm not going to replace them, okay? Holy Grail, like I said before, I really don't have a Holy Grail DVD that I'm looking for, or that I'm dreaming about. There are all kinds of things that come up. The most recent thing, actually the reason I went to Barnes & Noble today is because I had ordered, or I thought I had ordered, the new DVD, the Criterion Collection DVD of The Uninvited, the horror film from 1944, which I've been waiting for a long time. That is kind of a grail for me. I have a bootleg copy, which is fine, but I'd really like to get the new Criterion version. And I thought it had already come out, and that they just didn't have one at my local store. So I ordered it, and they called me, and it was available. So I went out there today, and it turns out that what they had brought in was a newer film called The Uninvited, which I didn't even know existed. I don't know anything about it. So of course I didn't bring this home. And the woman I spoke to said that, well, the Criterion Collection for the film you're talking about does not come out until October 22nd or something like that. So I was completely wrong. A little bit disappointed, but it didn't break my heart. So that's kind of what I'm looking for now. I'm looking forward to getting to that. And what else? Let's see. Okay. How do non-collectors react to my collecting? Well, they all think I'm incredibly eccentric. And they're right, I am. They think I'm kind of a spendthrift when it comes to these things, and they're right, I am. Although I do have, a little bit of restraint, just a little, or I try to. But yeah, I don't know anybody else in my real life, and I'm not talking about those of you in my YouTube life, because I know that none of you really exist anyway. I'm just imagining you, right? You're not really out there, are you? Anyway, I don't know anybody in my real life who collects DVDs or anybody who buys records. I've said this many times, but so it's kind of a loner thing, and that's okay. I mean, I don't necessarily um, judge my actions on, compared to what everybody else likes to do. Most of my friends who are my age, they've been in the process of kind of unloading their CDs. They threw out their records a long time ago, but they got rid of their CDs. They're putting everything on iPods. They subscribe to Netflix and they get stuff, you know, flashed into their houses and all that, which is fine. It really is fine with me, and I guess in a way I can understand why they do it. But what my question is always, okay, you want to clean out all this space in your house, you know, so that you can do what? Have blank walls? I mean, I don't know. I think a house, a person's life, a person's dwelling place has personality when you have a collection of books, when you have a collection of films, and when you have music around. So that's kind of the schizophrenic attitude I had about collecting. I can see that there are a lot of interesting and positive things about it, and yet I sometimes wonder if I'm doing too much of it. But to continue with that question, I have, I think, just one friend in my life, a guy who's about the same age as me, that is interested in old classic films, and we can sit and talk about this stuff. Even though he doesn't collect, he likes to watch them on television. You know, the old Betty Davis, MGM things, and old musicals, things like that. So I have somebody like that in life that I can talk to and you know, share ideas with. I've been known to drive people crazy when I start talking about films and film trivia, and I usually get on a tangent and I say way too much when somebody just asks a question about a movie or an actress or a director or an actor. I just go on and on and on until they're to the point where they're like, you know, shut the fuck up. So I once really offended a woman at a party. This was a long time ago, and we had just met, and we found out we had this mutual interest in old movies, and she was talking about Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, and saying what a big fan she was of them, and I said, yeah, me too, I love them. And she said, they just made dozens and dozens of films together, and I said, well, actually, they only made 4. And I said it in just, which happens to be true, and I just said it in a very calm and matter-of-fact way, and she was actually offended. She thought I was kind of, you know, trying to, like it was a competition. And it wasn't. I was just telling her a fact, and she got kind of upset, so. Sometimes it's better to keep your mouth shut, I think. Anyway, where are we? Okay. Why does buying a movie mean more than just seeing it on TV or at the show? Well, that goes back to the whole thing about being a collector. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. I can't tell you why it means more. It just means something. To people like me, to people like James, and probably most of the people who watch this video, it does mean something to have that wonderful hard copy of that beautiful movie or that memory in your hand. Something you can just refer to again and again. I mean, like I've said many times, that growing up in an era where we couldn't have, I mean, there were no VHS copies. There were, if you saw a movie once in your life and then it left the theater, you may never see it again. It might come up on TV sometime in the future, it might not. So now we can actually have these things and refer to them again and again and study them. And I guess that's why it means something. It means something to me to, oh God, I will never stop collecting. I don't think I could. I will just go broke. I mean, I will probably run out of food before I stop collecting. I don't know. So I guess I better accept it, which means I can't retire. I'll have to stop the retirement process because I need to keep working to support my DVD habit. And then there's the record habit and the CD habit, not to mention the books. Oh my God. See you later.